Hi guys, welcome back to the workshop. Today we've got a bit of a different video for you. We're going to be opening some boxes and getting a few things set up in the workspace. And yeah, it should be lots of fun. Stick around.
Alrighty, so our first box is a 135 psi trim compressor. It's 1 gallon, and that's important because when it is fully pressurized, it will fill my pressure pot to exactly 40 psi, which is my sort of target pressure for the whole system. Our next box here is a vacuum chamber. Mine happened to come with the pot for it, and the vacuum pump, and a pressure gauge as well. I haven't tried this out yet because in shipping the entire thing came covered in oil, and I found out that apparently a lot of it leaked out of the vacuum pump. I plan to use this to do some casting with silicone, that way I can get the air out of it, and also to remove air from investment for jewelry making. Our second to last penultimate box is our pressure pot, or I should say soon to be. This is a paint pot, and it came with a pressure gauge as well, but it has a number of things on it that I don't particularly need, one of which is this big hole that you see in the middle here. So we'll be removing that and also modifying the whole system for it. Should be lots of fun, and we'll get to it later in the video. Alright, on to the final box. This is our epoxy resin. It is a 2-part epoxy in a 2-to-1 ratio. The first box is the hardener, and the second box is going to be our resin. We'll be using it to make some fun things in the future. With all that said, let's get to putting together the vacuum chamber. So it's pretty simple. The gauge just gets bolted onto the lid, and it has an inlet and outlet valve on it. And we can connect those valves to the vacuum pump. By going over the manual for it, I found out that there's supposed to be an additional bottle of vacuum pump oil, so it didn't come with that, and I'm going to have to purchase some in the future. Speaking of purchasing stuff from a store, we're going to need to buy some additional hardware and things in order to convert our pressure pot. And I'll see if I can't find any vacuum pump oil as well. Shouldn't be too hard to find. Come along for the ride.
It's calling me, like the rainbow, like the rainbow. It's calling me, like the rainbow, the rainbow.
Okay, I just got back from the store and picked up a few things. One of which is this premium air hose that should come in handy to connect our compressor to the paint pot. But in the conversion process from paint pot to pressure chamber, we're going to need to adapt the top of this a fair bit. One thing I did was remove this tube. This is usually what gathers paint from the bottom of the bin, but we don't really need that anymore. And I also picked up a quick connect. That way we can easily connect this to this and not run into any issues. Should be good to go.
So swapping this thing over is fairly simple. There was a sort of 3-pronged cluster of things which had the pressure gauge on it, and I just pulled that off and put it onto the other side where you'd normally connect a paint hose to. That way this is our outlet valve and not really connected to the fill side anymore. But that's totally fine and shouldn't pose much of an issue. On all the parts, we're putting some Teflon tape on there to stop any air from escaping. And yeah, the rest of this process is fairly simple, and there's a bunch of pieces on the left that will all come together pretty quick. Enjoy!
this to this, this to this, to this, to this. Should be lovely. I just finished getting this guy all nice and cleaned up. Got a nice valve there. This is our quick release in case things get crazy. There's our pressure. So, all things considered, should be good to go.
One day soon, one day soon, one day
Pressure is falling. Gotta find the leak.
My strategy for finding leaks is probably similar to many others. A simple glass of soapy water and you will see some bubbles as soon as you pressurize it. Just like that one there. So we do have a number of leaks on this, but a curious thing happened as I kept pressurizing it to see what was going on. The pressure seemed to stop leaking and start to hold. I'm not sure why that would happen. I have no experience with Teflon tape, so if any of you guys know, if you could let me know, that would be great. I'm rather curious.
Okay, so I set it to 40. That's about what I want to keep it at. For now, I'm going to just leave it to see if it leaks and how long it leaks for, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, thank you so much for watching, guys. It's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed myself, and I hope you've enjoyed as well. I've been watching this one for about an hour or so, and he's only lost 1 PSI, so we should be good to go. And I finished the startup procedure on this compressor, so it's good to go as well. If there's anything you'd like to see made in the comments or have any suggestions for me, please feel free to let me know, and that's it for the day. Bye, guys!